Sure, today is an absolute scorcher. And I've just watered here at the back, and I thought, let me try and explain a little bit of method to my madness about what's going on here. So, here at the back is my propagation station. The reason I chose this for a good area is because if you, gosh, the sun is so bright. If you look closely, there's a beautiful layer of moss growing on both sides here. I've just watered. So you can see there, it's like really nice and green. And then it's a very narrow little alleyway. So if you have a look at it, that's a perspective. So what's on the left-hand side is only now about to get sun. So it's perfect for just putting things into the soil and letting them grow. Now, there are a lot of people that are betwixt and between about whether to propagate in water or soil or what to do. I think if it's a soft stem, it's pointless putting it into soil. But if it's any kind of stem with a cambium, I believe in putting it directly into the soil. Reason for that is that when the roots propagate in water, and then you put it into soil, there are so many things in the soil that the roots have almost like very zero chance, very small chance, unless you get a specialist soil. And this is all about no muss, no fuss. So the reasons for my madness, you can see that things, because of the shade here, the relative moisture, and then what the moss also does is that it is a root stimulant. And I've got a theory, I don't know how valid it is. If you don't think it's valid, let me know. But my theory is that with propagation, it helps to put like more than one kind of plant in a place for propagation, because whichever plant goes first releases a rooting hormone, and I believe that stimulates the other roots to go. So I've got some pretty hard to root things here. I'm giving them a long time. One of them is a pomegranate, and the other is a cedar. So yeah, I just got to see how that works. And then what I'm doing here is I'm gradually preparing now for firstly the fig forest over there, because I want to make an edible fig forest. I'm preparing just buckets. So in here there's grass cuttings and a bit of wood. It's another yucca and experiments, as Patrick would call them. And then in these buckets, I've put grass cuttings, and I'm watering them in every time I water, because that is going to make almost like the bottom of a bucket, not of a hanging plant. What do they call those things? Basically the moss that they put at the bottom to stop the soil running out. But because this is a low budget bonsai challenge, but we're working with grass clippings here. But simple things work. They really do. And then over here, I had to trim down a ponytail palm. I had to cut off some part of the stem. So I didn't have a bucket large enough. So there was a rubbish bin, old rubbish bin that didn't have a lid anymore. So I drilled a couple of holes in the bottom. And those ponytails all look like they're taking, and then they can be planted out. And then over here, this is planting firewood. We've been through that in another video. And they all seem to be taking. What's nice now is as the sun comes over here and illuminates the left-hand side, there's a couple of hours, and then the right-hand side is back in shade again. And there's also quite a bit of controversy about whether to prune back when you transplant. I mean, when you take cuttings. Some people believe that the smaller the plant is, the less onerous the demands. But the way I understand things, the cambium transports carbs to the roots. So one never quite knows where the dieback's going to be. Let it happen naturally, and then whatever carbohydrate is left in the leaves, any part of the dieback that can feed the growth of the roots, I believe can only be good.